Hello and welcome to the first segment for the 2019-2020 school year of DSU Inside Perspective. I'm Carlos Holmes, and this is the show where we talk with faculty, staff, students, alumni, and even people from the outside about some of the things that are going on in the world and some of the great things that are going on at the Delaware State University. Today I'm here with Nikita Robins-Thompson, who is the Associate Director of Academic Services for the Office of Student Success here on campus. Nikita, thank you so much for being on the show. Me. Now, we were strolling across campus a little while ago, and you were telling me about a presentation you made at a conference.
Yes, sir.
About intrusive advising. Now, I must tell you, when I hear that, intrusive advising, that doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good. That just the word intrusive.
Yes, I get it.
So explain that to me. What is intrusive advising?
So it simply means that instead of allowing the student to come to us when they have a need, we push into their environment. The goal with intrusive advising is to just merely say, okay, prescriptive is fine, where you come in and I give you advice on what to do. Developing you in your career is fine too. But intrusive, proactive advising requires that you push into their student spaces, maybe going to a game, and building a relationship that supports all of the things that you will do with your academics.
Now, you are dealing with athletes.
I am.
Not just football, but basketball,
yes, sir.
Men's and women's, baseball, softball, volleyball, track and field.
You're good.
What am I missing? Lacrosse?
Yes.
Soccer?
The equestrian team.
Equestrian?
And we
golf,
do work with the cheerleaders as well. Yeah.
And the cheerleaders.
Yes.
That's a lot. How many athletes do we have a total
So
of?
this go round, we have about 406 student athletes, but we've teetered between anywhere from 360 to 400. Over the 18 Division I programs, and that's inclusive of all that you've listed. We support them. We currently have about 4 advisors, 2 part-time graduate assistants, and a host of volunteers.
Okay,
and,
that was my next question,
yeah.
because I wondered if you're doing all this by yourself.
No, but sometimes it feels like it. But
Okay.
no, we definitely have a good support system. There's some things that we need to have more of, but you know, we've figured out how to work with less, as we all do. But we've managed to at least have at least 5 to 6 people in our area that can support them in the way they need to.
Okay. Now, you talk about relationship building. You got to get to know these students, obviously.
Correct.
I mean, how do you do that?
So it requires that we invite them into the space, not waiting for a problem to happen. So we're really methodical every semester about going in and scheduling our appointments with our students, starting with our transfer and our freshman students first. And we meet with them weekly to let them know about the services that are available and all the things that we need and how to have this relationship. And it's in those spaces that we're asking the questions: how's mom? How's dad? How is those things that are outside of the academic realm? And it's through those experiences and those conversations that I think we have the most impact on the academic, because they see that we're not just working with them on the number and their academics, but we're working with the whole student. So that means I'm not only dealing with you about academics, but your parents, everything you bring to it, your transitional experience, how that looks. And so they see the value in that, and I think that's why we've been able to make so much strides and had so much success.
Do you encounter students that, you know, kind of have the attitude that, well, look, I got an advisor already, you're just getting in my business?
Yes, hands down. And I'm okay with that. Because again, I don't want this to be a forced relationship. I want it to be organic. And so there are some mandates. We do require that our freshmen and our sophomore meet with once a week if we have students who are below a certain threshold academically, because in athletics, what we consider at risk is a 2.59. So we will meet with those students once a week or bi-weekly as well. So there's some mandates, but in that space, if you choose not to use me as that place to reveal personal things, I understand that. That's when I give you tips and resources where you can do that. Listen, I understand I can't help everybody, but those that will allow me to support them in the way I do. And if it's not me, it's one of our advisors. We see it's funny, I did an assessment of our work, and we touch our student athletes about 125 times a week because they're required to do study hall. They have 8 to 10 hours depending on where they are. They have to be in that space. We're monitoring that. And so as a result, even though you may not want to, because we see so much, it kind of forces you to lean on me as a resource. And so, but I take my time with it. I don't force it.
But the bottom line is this is a resource that the university, the Department of Athletics, the Office of Student Success makes available to the students to help facilitate their success.
Oh, yeah. And it's best practice. I mean, if you go to any NCAA school program that has a sports program, you will find that this is a best practice. We are known to be in our student spaces, asking the tough questions, getting involved with parents and families, probably a little bit more extensively than some of the other areas. They have to engage the student at certain points, but the student comes to the primary advisor when they need to. These students are being I won't say forced, but they're kind of being, hey, it's the best way to do things, and you have to be here in order to get your best self. So as a result, I think that's why they come and kind of acclimate to it, even if they don't want to.
But, being an athlete, is not the same as just being a student here. And maybe you may have a little extracurricular thing here. I mean, there's a real time management issue here because you got practice and you have the games. And if you're traveling, our football team went to North Carolina A&T. They had to travel there. How did they get there? They probably went by bus, right?
Correct.
Okay, that's a nice little
That's an 8 hour, that's an 8 hour drive. But what the cool thing about this AASP grant, this is prior to me coming here, they were able to buy hotspots and tablets for the students as they were traveling to various places. So every team has the ability to check out this resource, come grab their hotspots, and then students are able to actively engage in their academics still while on the road. We've even had academic advisors travel with our teams as well. And even our FAR, Dr. Charlie Wilson, has gone to proctor tests. So we see this as a collaborative situation where we're all working together to achieve the goal. Yes, they're a student athlete, and yes, they have all these different obligations, but ultimately they're a student, and we want them to see them to graduation. So how do we do that as they're being ambassadors for the university? And so that's one of the many things that we've adopted as a way of how to get your lesson, even when you're on the road. There's no excuse because we've given you the tools to do so.
This is bearing fruit, though, apparently. I mean, obviously, we've had good student-athlete academic numbers for a while now.
Yeah, so DSU is just received last year. We were #1 in the MEAC conference for the all-commissioner, all-academic award, which means of the 13 MEAC schools, we had the most students over a 3.0 GPA. We've been in the top. We were #1 this year. We were #1 last year. Our competitors are Howard. And it's funny because we actually work with Howard. They came up to the university to do a training around best practices. But it gets real competitive. And, we've teetered between them for the last 2 or 3 years between the #1 and #2 space. Our student athletes are graduating success rates over the national average. The national average is about 60%, and we're pushing out 75%. So to me, what we're doing is working. It's affording us the opportunity. Last semester, our overall GPA as that organization was their CUM was a 3.0. Excuse me, their term was a 3.0. And although we have at-risk, at-risk is not traditional at-risk. When you think about at-risk, it's someone who is below a 2.0, but we're challenging our students at a 2.5. NCAA says in order for you to be considered academically sound, you need to be above a 2.6. So we're doing great things. I think the statistics show, the academics show, do we have those challenging students who want to just play ball or want to just, do golf or whatever that is that they want to do, and not embody the whole reason why they're here, sure. But we're tackling those one at a time as well in order to make success.
Well, like you said, what you're doing is working. So keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
And we're just so proud of our athletes and their academic success. And that's what we want. We want them to succeed academically because at the end of the day, that's the most important thing.
Yes.
We want them to excel athletically, but
Correct.
we want them to excel academically. Thank you so much for being on my show. I'm going to have you on again.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us for our first segment of DSU Inside Perspective. Everyone have a good day.